It is a few days after Easter, and I'm going to do my darndest to get this thing done today. So I'm going to stop talking and get to work. So I've been sanding on this thing for days, and for those of you that were paying attention in my last video, I did remove that trim ring that went around here, and I think it looks a lot better without that, and this is going to be a nice flat panel. The sides on both sides, they're nice and molded, ready to go. I threw some black paint on the edges here to kind of hide that after it gets wrapped. This, once again, molded all the way around. I do have a layer of spot putty to fill in some nail holes and to level a couple spots out that I was not happy with. So before I start sanding on this thing and getting it 100% ready to go for vinyl, and I got to let that stuff dry a little bit better, is I got to work on some supports for this trim ring. And honestly, what I thought about in the first place is when this was vinyl and this was vinyl, that would just pressure fit in there and work out really well. However, I don't want to do that because I don't want road vibrations to make it rattle out of place and keep falling. And the last thing I want to do is open my trunk, and every time I go to show somebody what I built, I got to pull that and put it back into position. So we're going to build some supports that go on there. So what I'm building isn't rocket science. It is it's a couple strips of wood, scrap wood, that, mind you. And listen, if my older brother taught me one thing about woodworking, it is you don't throw anything away because you never know when you're going to need it. So let me turn this guy upside down. And I did some measurements, and if you look here, this is 2 pieces a 1/2 inch. So I've got a piece a 1/2 inch here, 2 pieces a 1/2 inch here, and then this piece of acrylic, which is about a 1/4 inch. So realistically, you got this piece of 3/4 here that I used to seam the 2 panels together, which is going to be a great base. And then I just basically take this little strip and nail it here, and it gives a little bit of a ledge. And once I get it into place, I'll flip it upside down and show you guys. And then I got a couple other ones, a couple pieces of 3/4 strips cut at 1 inch that I'm going to put here. And then I've got these guys here that will basically just go right there. And so I'm going to have a couple little ledges for that thing to sit on. So I've got these pieces of wood clamped into place because my nail gun is a giant POS right now. Believe it or not, both of them. You know, it's going to be hard to get this done when we have equipment failures. So the free nail gun from my brother doesn't work. So that's why these clamps are here. But you can see, like I said, nothing fancy with this. Got a piece of 3/4 as a spacer. Got a piece of 1/2 inch is going to be the ledge. This already had the piece of 3/4 for the panel for the seam, and so I just added a piece of 1/2 inch on here on the ledge, or to create a ledge, I should say. Same thing over on this side. So the panel behind me is in a drying stage right now. I put some more spot putty on to fill in some nail holes, and the glue is drying for those supports for the trim ring. Now, I am going to put the table saw away because I don't need to cut any more wood, and I am done for today with that. Plus, I don't have a nail gun anymore. But what I am going to do is I was going through some of my old filming videos and raw stuff, and I found some stuff that I didn't show you guys. I found one of these, and if I can get this to focus on camera, this is a Precision Power Cubase, an original one. It was brand new in a box. Got it off the eBay, and I couldn't believe I found it. Paid more than I wanted to, but a lot less than some of the other people that were selling them were going for. So we're going to work on getting this done after I get all this done. I cleaned up all the wiring going here, put the sub in the enclosure. Obviously, I'm going to clean it up a little bit more, and started running my my sub control. The other thing that I did is don't mind all my junk that I pulled out of my center console, is I disassembled this center console to go ahead and install the sub control. I pulled my cup holder console out of the Honda to go ahead and mount that sub control, and I'm going to put the sub control right here, right in the center of my two aftermarket heated seat switches. I've got the back marked, and as much as I don't like drilling holes in anything for that matter, I'm going to do it on this. I'm going to mount the backside to this just so you see the knob poking through. I think it's going to look pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna drill a hole. So I'm gonna reassemble this whole center console, and actually, I'll show you guys how the sub control looks. Give you a little sneak peek right there. Couple things about this PPI Cubase is when you find something that's really rare and it's hard to replace, make sure you break it. Yeah, which I did. And then I don't know what Precision Power was thinking. Maybe you want to put the Cubase in a Lincoln Continental with a trailer, but there's a lot of wire there. So we're going to tie that up underneath the center console. I'll get this whole thing back together. So the sub control knob is in and done. You can see how nice that looks in between those two heated seat switches. I dig it, and it's got that little glowing red. Let me tell you guys, if you haven't hit that like button on any one of my videos, I think that deserves one. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little trip down memory lane with the, what would that be? The second enclosure, first one with the 10-inch. But yeah, who's counting how many enclosures I've built for this car? Anyway, fun fact, the compressor may be the problem, not the nail gun. Because it is not working real well. But I got this all laid out. I think it looks pretty cool. I got the wings on there, and I wanted to. I was going to start carpeting the sides, but I realized the compressor's not working real well, so I can't do that. So we may be done for the day, guys. Not real happy about it, but I may have no other choice. After a couple weeks of waiting on compressor parts and working through a drivability issue on the Honda, I'm back in the garage. And like I said a few minutes ago, I'm going to stop talking and get back to work. My compressor is fixed and ready to go. And as you can tell by this ring right here, it's missing a giant chunk. So it was hard for it to build up any pressure to fill the tank. Couldn't buy just a ring, needed to buy the connecting rod, the sleeve, and the top of the piston. But yeah, it's fixed. While I was waiting on Home Depot to ship some parts, I ended up getting a can of Max Strength 90. I wrapped these side wings in some black carpet. Center section got a final sanding with 220 to smooth everything out. I ended up just laying down another coat of satin black on my little ledges that I made earlier, and the sides to hide any MDF that's going to potentially be showing through. I do need to grab my my 1/2-inch roundover bit and do this edge because I've been wanting to do that. Probably should have did it before I started building everything, but you know, better late than never. I got no cars and I'm ready to go for some vinyl. Now, my trim ring is here and I need to do a final sanding on it, make sure that's 100% ready to go. Got my Landau contact adhesive, and more importantly, I should wear one of these more often than I do. I have one, obviously, but I just, yeah, safety first, kids. So my compressor's all charged up, ready to go. I did this 1/4-inch roundover on here, which I think turned out pretty good. It's not too exaggerated. I like it. I dig it. However, I wish I would have did it while I had this ring off before anything, because it would have made it a little easier than trying to maneuver that. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm getting some glue loaded in my my new glue gun. And here's a tech tip. Take some paper, put it to the wall so you can adjust spray patterns before you start working on the piece that you're working on. My new gun is all dialed in and ready to go. I can't really talk because I got this stupid mask on. So this is exactly what you don't want and you get these problems when you don't pay attention. You see how low this is here? I'm only going to be able to stick that. But on the other side, I got plenty of room. So somebody didn't pay that close attention when they were wrapping this thing, and that somebody would have been me. Not only did I make a mess, I am honestly making progress. I got this half-inch ring that's that grill's going to sit on top of, and we're going to do some lighting around there, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, this trim ring has been an absolute booger to vinyl, and just waiting for some new glue to set up, and that's why it's taking me so long to get this video done, guys, because I had to buy more glue. And supposedly, no, not that guy. Wait, hang on. Where is it? Nope, now I got somebody calling me. I don't know, but there's a guy on here that says they killed somebody, but he says he's innocent. That guy, right there. Riveting television. I'm gonna get back to vinyling. All right, so this is done and ready to go. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. And these little corners here, these guys are freaking boogers. The vinyl, but you know, make some relief cuts and heat them up with a heat gun, and you'll be in good shape. But before you do that, take the vinyl and before you start putting it into place, just kind of drop it down to give yourself a little bit more ease in wrapping these corners. The other thing, and thanks to Mark from Car Audio Fabrication, taking my rabbiting bit and making a little step in here, which makes this nice and easy. So when you put this piece of acrylic on, it sits nice and flush. In the old days, I would just wrap it and fingers all over the place and it'd be a mess. But this looks a lot better. All my fabrication work is completed, and I got to do a little bit of cleanup before I start the lighting. And in continuation with my Trash TV Wednesday, we got Maury. You are not the father. Well, maybe you are. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. I'll let you guys know. But check this out. I'm digging this. So I've got my grill here. That other ring that I made is all ready to go. The wings are done. The little corners up top are done, and my vinyl trim ring ready to go. I am digging this, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like in the car and installed. But first, before I call this project done, I'm going to work on some lighting. So I've got some acrylic down here, and I've got some acrylic that's going around the sub, and we're going to light that up, and I'm going to show you guys how I did this with a rabbiting bit. I got my little table set up here. I got my trim rings pretty much up here and ready to go. And I don't know if you guys are concerned, but he's not the father. And I got the camera pretty much put down here because I wanted to show you this ring that I made for the sub for the grill to sit on. Now, drop my LEDs. But if you could see, I took my rabbiting bit and I made a little step and I cut through the acrylic and I cut through the MDF. So basically what it's going to do is it's going to take this LED and run it right around, right in that channel that I made to be able to light up this acrylic. Now, what I am going to do, I know this may upset some of you, but I want to be able to block out any of the light from coming this way. I want it to all go that way. So I'm going to use a little black duct tape. The LEDs fit perfect in that little channel that I routed out. This black duct tape is going to do exactly what I want it to, and that's going to block any light from going the opposite direction. Anytime you have duct tape and custom fabrication in the same sentence, it's hard to make it look good. But this is going to serve a purpose, and if you look at the sub ring, it's going to work perfect. In the beginning of this video, I said it's a couple days after the Easter holiday. And to be honest with you, we are nowhere near the Easter holiday. Honda's in the garage, and you can see I've got a relay here to control my lighting. The amp, I had that panel in, and I need to adjust it where it's at. I think I'm going to raise it up a little bit. I'll show you guys what it looks like in a second. Got the other side to the lighting right there, and my panel all set, ready to go. This is my SP105E Magic controller for the LEDs, which you can control off your phone. All my LEDs are duct taped to the acrylic. The acrylic is screwed to the rings, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. If anybody's got another idea on how to do this, I'm all ears. Got the connector here, which will do perfect if I ever need to service this in the past, or in the future, I should say. We got this whole thing ready to go. Now, this panel will go in and out of the car all in one shot. Not the easiest, but good thing I've done it like 5 times. I finally have an audio system done in one of my dailies. Now, before I was about 80% happy with everything, and wasn't really happy with some of the things that they were turning out. But honestly, I have changed my mind. I really, really like the way this looks. I ended up putting some spacers underneath each corner of the amplifier, let a little airflow go underneath of it, and then obviously it raised it up to kind of poke it through that trim ring, which I'm really digging. Sub, I love the way this looks. It grill fits perfectly. It's almost flush, and worked out really well after I cracked that ring. Carpeted sides fit perfectly. The little corners up there fit great. I'm digging it. Now, check this out. There's my Viper car alarm. If we push lock and aux, well, we shouldn't have armed the car, but there's your lights. All controlled off of my phone and the remote control. I dig it. I love it. Sounds amazing. What do you guys think? Now that the Honda is done and I finally have an audio system in one of my dailies, I will be starting a project on the Corvette pretty soon. Got some really, really good ideas on that, and I want to do some stuff that I've never done before. For those of you that hung out with me throughout this journey of the Jeep, now to the Honda, to changing subwoofers 17 times, I appreciate it. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you think of the final product on the CRV. Thanks. We'll see you next time.